If you're moving files between IT and OT environments, you already know the challenge. Data has to flow, but every transfer is a decision that can either protect OT systems or put them at risk. Production data, engineering files and firmware updates are necessary transfers, but OT environments weren't built to handle modern threats that could be embedded in these files. Most threats don't originate in OT. They enter through IT and cross that boundary as files. Once a malicious or malformed file reaches OT, detection becomes difficult, response options are limited, and remediation, if possible, means downtime. That's why the file transfer itself has to become a security control point. With MetaDefender Managed File Transfer, organizations deploy a dedicated MFT instance on each side of the IT/OT boundary. This MFT to MFT architecture allows every file crossing into OT to be inspected, validated, and enforced against policy before delivery. MetaDefender Managed File Transfer integrates OPSWAT's deep file inspection, analyzing file content, structure, and behavior, not just relying on traditional antivirus signatures to detect malware, suspicious indicators, and unsafe file types. Unlike endpoint-based controls, inspection happens before the file ever reaches OT. If a file fails inspection, MetaDefender Managed File Transfer blocks or quarantines it based on your organization's policies, preventing unsafe files from ever reaching OT systems. Let's look at how this works using MetaDefender Managed File Transfer. Here we have two MetaDefender Managed File Transfer instances, one deployed in IT and one dedicated to protecting OT. When a file is transferred from IT toward OT, MetaDefender Managed File Transfer automatically routes it through inspection. You can see the scan results here, including the file verdict and policy decision. In this case, MetaDefender Managed File Transfer automatically determines the file violates policy and stops the file from ever reaching the OT environment. All activity is logged, auditable, and enforced automatically without manual intervention. With MetaDefender, file transfer becomes an enforced security boundary, not a blind spot. You protect OT systems, enforce policies, maintain uptime, and still allow critical data to move securely. If you're securing file movement between IT and OT, MetaDefender Managed File Transfer gives you the control and visibility you need. Talk to OPSWAT to see how MetaDefender Managed File Transfer fits into your environment.